And I told myself, I will never lose my integrity to get by. I will not do things that I don't believe in, whether it is in the church, start selling merchandise of oil, this one, that one, to make money. But when you are faced with a bill of, say, 500,000, a debt, what are you going to do? Dr. Mike Murdoch says, mentoring is gaining wisdom without experience.
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Dumela, and welcome to another great episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. You'll see momentarily why I call it a great episode, because of the nature of the guests that I have. And thank you for those who've subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed by any chance, please strike that subscribe button. Give us a like button as well. I'm so happy to be walking this journey with you as I bring the best and the brightest, the creme de la creme, not only here in Botswana, but across Southern Africa and indeed the world. Today I have Pastor B.F. Rams, but a little housekeeping before I allow him to introduce himself. Our book is still available. Thank you for making me a bestseller. We're printing 2,000 more books, but it is available from Exclusive Books. It's available also from our office here at Mogobe Plaza. Please come up and buy it. Only $350 when I last checked. And also we do have 2 mentorship programs, one on entrepreneurship and another one on real estate. The real estate one has been running for 6 years. You are welcome to call our office to find out more about it and enroll if you are interested. And then, of course, the entrepreneurship one. We're in the business of making multimillionaires, and we are delighted to say that we've been able to make quite a number of those, and we continue to push for the upliftment and the empowerment of entrepreneurs in this community. Having said that, let me welcome Pastor B.F. Rams. Welcome to Mogobe Nuggets.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
I have been following you on social media. I've been a fan for many, many years.
Wow.
And it is a privilege to eventually meet you and to have an opportunity to converse with you.
It's great to be here. I'm a fan of the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. I consume on it from time to time.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
A good starting point is just to share a condensed CV about yourself, a little bit about your background, and to share how it all started in a nutshell.
Yes, I was born and raised in Palape. Both my parents are still alive and together, last born with 5 siblings. And growing up in Palape, had to learn a lot, especially on the streets. Typical Tswana family, going to Tswana medium schools and all of that, playing on the streets, soccer. My father is a big fan of soccer. I nearly became a professional soccer player.
Oh, really?
Yes, nearly. I remember when I was doing Form 3 or something, I was nearly selected for the under 17, the national team for the under 17.
Wow.
Yeah, so... But someone had to tell me that I had to focus on my academics, and that's how I went off. And then university, experienced my first failures at when I got to the university. I've always been a bright student and had a fail and discontinued. It was very terrible. But life never stopped, and kept on finding my way around in discovering purpose and all of that, till where I am now.
What were you studying at UB?
I started my first university course was I was doing electrical engineering. It was in South Africa, in Durban. So first year it was good. The first semester, the second semester it was a little bit off. So I changed courses and I went to BCom in accounting. Because I was good with numbers, mathematics, and accounts, so I thought, okay, leave engineering, go to accounts. Spent 2 years, didn't work out well, so they returned me home. And then my parents were to pay for me again. I was to start with BSc. I was just a confused young man. I didn't know what I wanted for my life, just to finish at school, and yeah, didn't get out the way I wanted it
Yeah.
to.
And you did say you, at some point was fail and discontinue.
Yes, sir.
Looking back, what led to that, and how did you get over that particular mishap?
I wouldn't even say that the courses were difficult. Like I mentioned earlier, I think being confused at a young age, not knowing what I wanted to do. I wasn't like a naughty kid and getting to, terrible things out there. I was just a good student. My mind just couldn't connect. And after my fail and discontinue, it pushed me to want to know, who am I really? Because I knew that I'm not, it's not like I'm stupid. It's not like I can't grasp concepts. Why am I not getting this done? That led me to discovering my purpose and what I knew that I had to do for life. Yes, sir.
Tell me what course did you eventually do, and what happened after that?
I did a lot of courses. I'll admit I did a lot of courses, and most of them I remember. One time I was it was a distance learning one. I was doing business administration. I left it. I didn't fail. Because at one moment I sat with myself and I asked myself, why am I doing this? I wanted to know the motive behind it. Am I doing it? And at this point, I'm already a pastor. Am I doing this because I want to be regarded as a graduate? Or is it going to complement what I'm doing? And so I sat with myself. I thought to myself, I talked with my wife and decided, I'm leaving this course for now. Let me focus on what I believe that I have to do. Let me build myself in this direction. I'm still a student even right now. I'm doing this one. I'm completing it this coming year. I'm doing a theology course that I'm finishing next year.
At what level? Master's, PhD?
No, it is a diploma course.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You mentioned that you were part of ministry when you were studying.
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk specifically about ministry. How did it all start? What sparked it off?
I became a Christian when I was doing Form 5, beginning of Form 5. This is 1999. But I was raised in church all my life. And that was the defining time when I
Meaning what, your
decided.
parents were in ministry?
Well, my parents, my mom was a churchgoer. My brother was a very committed and dedicated Christian. And he would take me to his house every weekend so that he can take me to church on Sunday. So I grew up in the church, wasn't really like a church person, like committed. And when I was doing Form 5, I remember I just had my own personal awakening that you need to take this thing seriously. You need to get into this. And I became a Christian for real, and then went to the university. When I was at the university, that's when in my personal space, I got the realization that God would want me in the field to serve him. And I tried to negotiate it to say, look, God, let me finish what I'm doing. My plan for life was, I know I'm a smart guy. Let me get my stuff together and I will be like a funder for missionaries. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, originally?
Yes, I want to fund missionaries and do my business, engineering company and all of that. Little did I know that I should be that missionary. And so I got that awakening that I need to, or rather that God called me into the ministry. And then
While you're still at university?
While I was still at the university. And then I spent 7 years from that time. This is 2002. I spent 7 years from that time learning informally about what it means to be a pastor, asking questions, sitting down in the church and just getting exposed to what it means to be a pastor, just preparing myself. Yes, sir.
So as we're speaking, what is the current status of your pastoring activities? And tell us about your church.
I've enjoyed doing church and doing ministry. Started the church in 2009 with a handful of young people. We were less than 10, I think. Most of them were high school leavers, early university,
Right here in Gabs.
right here in Gaborone. And we gathered praying, and then I shared the vision with them. This is what I want to get into and how I want things to be. In their young state, they believed in what I said. My heart is on making Christianity, the Word of God, practical. And so I sat with them. It was not necessarily like a church setup. It was more like, let's sit and discuss. Ask me questions. If you have any questions about life, about God, and all of that. Started gathering. The number kept on increasing, and we registered the church. And that mindset is what has guided us into how we do things. For me, for every problem in the community, in the society, there must be a program from the church. So if we have issues of gender-based violence, if we have issues of financial challenges and all of that, then what is the Word of God saying about that? So we start programs based on the problems that we want to solve in the community. If there is high level of divorce, what can we do? If the young people find it difficult to get into relationships, to sustain them, how can we do that? How can we mentor them? That led me also to say, sometimes we front the Word of God, whereas people already have a certain thinking around the Word of God, and you get them to kind of like repel you from the onset. What can I do? That led me to 2011, and I sat with the young people because I read a lot. So I sat with them, and I was sharing with them what I have read. They loved it. Went to the University of Botswana, gathered a number of young people, shared with them, never told them I'm a pastor. They loved all of that, life principles, discovering purpose, handling heartbreaks when things don't work, building your character, integrity. Never quoted a scripture, never quoted the Bible, never told them that I'm a pastor. They started coming. We are gathering like 200 young people every Tuesday. They didn't know I'm a pastor. So the program would run the whole semester. The last meeting that we'd have, that's when I will bring it and I say, guys, all that you have heard me teaching the whole semester, they are biblical principles. And we managed to get young people to love the Word of God because they saw it in practical terms before they were fronted with it from the onset. And out of that, unbeknown, it brought another side of me of becoming a life coach, a motivational speaker, and a mentor. So because of these programs that we'll do at church, somebody came to one of the meetings. We're doing what we call the Workers' Summit. So the Workers' Summit, we gather people that are in the workspace.
Yes.
How to become the best at your work, how to relate with your superiors, all of those things. And this gentleman said, I've never heard anybody talk like this from the Bible standpoint. So he told his superiors at work that probably they can call me to come and talk to them. And they said, how much am I going to charge for that? I didn't know you get paid to talk. So I asked one of the people in the church, and they told me, so I forwarded them my invoice, and then they said, well, we'll pay for that. I went, it was in Joanning at the mine. I spoke with them there. The managing director of that time was passing through here, and he said, I'll sit for 2 minutes. 2 minutes turned into 40 minutes. And then after that, he said to the gentleman who invited me, please call all our middle managers, lock them in a room for 3 days with this young man. I want him to talk to them. I was scared. What am I going to talk to them about? So I spoke with them, and I realized that, so I can talk to people from what I know and what I've experienced.
People in the corporate world.
People in the corporate world. It opened doors, started going from one organization to the other. And that by itself, as much as I was going to empower them, it empowered me.
Wow.
Because it helped me to sit where the church members sit. I was able to see how they do meetings, their environments, how decorated their offices are, the boardrooms. So I was able to understand that more than just preaching to these people, I've been where they are. I know their language. I know how they do things. And so we structured ourselves at church based on the people that we have and how we want to reach them.
Yes.
So if a member comes to church and they come from a posh office, air conditioned, all kinds, then they come to church and they are sweating all throughout. It's like the church and their outer world marketplace, they are two different things. And so we said, let's package ourselves in a way that would speak to them, that would be relevant to them. So that's how my life became life coach, motivational speaker, and mentor of different people.
That's very fascinating.
Yes,
All right, we had Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We like talking about entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
Our target audience is mostly, visionary entrepreneurs, and they take two forms: aspiring and established, in terms of accomplished entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
I think it would be nice to tell them a bit about the connection between entrepreneurship and the Bible.
Yes, sir.
I've often said that, the Bible is an entrepreneurship manual.
Yes, sir.
I wonder what's your take on that.
I had a mentor. He's still my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory. Dr. Miles Monroe impacted my life greatly. As a young boy, I read his books on purpose. I read his books on potential. And at that point, I didn't know him. I was privileged to then get closer for him to mentor me. Dr. Miles Monroe says the Bible is not a religious book.
Closer as in Bahamas?
Yes, sir.
You went there?
I have not been to Bahamas, but I would be going around with him to some of his meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. And we were able to host him here, in fact, in 2013.
Wow.
Yes, sir. So he would say the Bible is not a religious book, and it speaks more from the legal side of things. It speaks more from life. I've discovered that the Bible has principles, and there is the person of Jesus. Most people, they adopt the person of Jesus who saves. So they are saved. And they are, whether you say heaven bound, fine. But they have not embraced the principles of Jesus. The principles of Jesus are for everyone. Even if you don't know the person of Jesus, the principles of Jesus, they still work. So with the principles of Jesus, you will find that people are making it big in this life, even if they don't acknowledge him. But those principles, is more like saying, if I sow a seed, the seed doesn't care whether I am a liar or not. If I sow it in the right environment and give it the right conditions, it will grow. It doesn't care what my age is. And so the challenge with most Christians is that they are with the person of Jesus, and when they get to church, and I always say this, it's like when some Christians get to church, they put their minds aside and they don't take the principles of Jesus on a daily basis. For me, the richest people on earth should be the Christians, because out of the Bible, we discover how a person like King Solomon would be the greatest king, that everyone would come to him. He understood real estate. He understood intellectual property. Solomon understood the transportation industry. He had the best and the choice horses that he was selling to different kingdoms back in his days. And he knew the different trade routes that he would get into. He wrote poems. He wrote stuff that right now we talk about the intellectual property. Yeah. That was him. Solomon understood consulting with his wisdom. When that
was a content creator.
He was a content creator. Solomon understood all these things. Solomon understood international relations. The reason why there was no war in the days of Solomon was because he was marrying people from different nations, and he became their relative. So when people hear that Solomon had 1,000 women. He didn't have 1,000 women. He had 1,000 relations. So if I marry from Zimbabwe, I'm a Zimbabwean by marriage. So Zimbabwe doesn't see the need to attack me if I'm a king of Botswana. So Solomon understood international relations, using his wisdom, monetized it, consulted, and all of that. But when an average Christian goes to the Bible, they are looking for sin and righteousness. If I do this, I'm righteous with God. If I don't do this, I'm wrong with God. When you read the Bible, you start from the opening, you will discover how the Bible will speak of the multiple streams of income. The Bible is an entrepreneurial book. Jesus spoke more on money than he did on heaven and hell combined.
Wow.
Even with his parables, there were marketplace parables. Jesus was not a pastor in a church, in a temple somewhere.
Sense, yeah.
He was always in the marketplace. Jesus understood how to speak in parables. Parables were not necessarily to confuse people. Parables was a way of a rabbi or a teacher communicating with his people, ensuring that they are a part of the conversation instead of giving them direct answers. So he would provoke their thoughts so that by the time we get to the final conclusion of what you are saying, you are a part of the process of this thought and not just the recipient of the end product. So Jesus was in the marketplace. He had people like Joseph of Arimathea, who was part of the Sanhedrin. He was relevant to them. And Joseph of Arimathea, you read throughout the Bible.
Is that the same one who prepared his coffin?
Yes.
On the wall.
That gentleman, we never saw him all throughout Jesus' ministry until when it mattered. When he had to ask for the body of Jesus from his superiors, because he had access. So Jesus was relating. He would go to Zacchaeus' house and sit with him and be able to hold a conversation from the end point of Zacchaeus and what Zacchaeus was doing in life. And that was able to change the character of Zacchaeus. And Jesus said to him, the kingdom is not far from you. So he understood how to be relevant to his generation. I can even put it this way, because when I came in here, I pick a little things. I like details. You are a man that you surrounded yourself with the right people at the right time doing this podcast.
Thank you.
With your age group, and you are able to reach the young people. It takes a certain level of wisdom, a certain level of mind. The people that are running it, that are doing it, are the people that have the energy and they understand how to go about that. That's more like a Jesus kind of a thing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So
to be associated with Jesus is an incredible honor.
Very,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's take it further. What specific programs? You said earlier that for everything you design program.
Yes, sir.
What specific programs have you designed for millionaires and entrepreneurs? What have you designed for married couples? Just take us through the various programs.
Some years ago, as I was pastoring the church, I realized that we had a lot of young people. Our average age is 26 at church. So we are fairly a church of young people. And I realized that they are getting into a stage where they would want to get into relationships. But you'd hear young people out there, hey, Mujolo is too much. Mujolo this, Mujolo that. What can we do? Since people are having it difficult with, sustaining relationships, sustaining marriages and all of that. We have a serious high rate of divorces and all of that. So we came up with a program we called the Love Train. The Love Train as in like training in love. Others would say the Love Train as in like the train of
lovers.
Love. Yes, of lovers. So we did it deliberately to have those meanings. So we trained people for love, and we said, to be a doctor, you are trained. To be a lawyer, you are trained. To be an engineer, you are trained. But to be a husband, who has trained you? To be a lover, who has trained you? So we sit with people and we train them on the principles of marriage, love relationships. We discovered that an average person or an average relationship could survive provided they have the right environment, the right mentors, the right knowledge, the right people to talk to that can help them to solve their problems and to get through what they are going
Challenges
through, their
are.
challenges and all of that. So we have the Love Train that has seen a lot of good success. In the last 10 years, I've officiated over 50 weddings.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And these are young people that one of the statements I say to them is, if you are with us and you follow what we put on the table, you cannot get it wrong. And we have proven it. When we started getting these young people marrying and all of that, people said, we will see how long it will last. Some of them are turning 10 years in marriage. Other people came already married. The other day, in fact, we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of one of the ladies that she's already married and all of that, and she came through to the church.
Wow.
So we have the Love Train. We don't just come through when a person is getting married. We mentor you when you are single. When you want to get into a relationship, we ask relevant questions. How to find the right partner, the questions to ask yourself. We don't hook them up. How to ask yourself the right questions, what to consider. When they get into the relationship, the courtship, we give you a mentor that goes with you throughout the courtship. While you are enjoying yourselves, what are the things also to consider? Is this relationship taking us somewhere? When to know that is the right time I can get married. And if I'm to get married, what are the considerations there? We have been forced to even stretch it more. When people get married in our program, we ask them to bring their, I don't know, what do they call it? Debt clearance and all of that, ITC.
Yeah, ITC clearance.
ITC clearance, because we want to be sure. Lest a person marries you and finds that you are blacklisted and they are in trouble, they married in community of property. We do all kinds of stuff that will help the couple.
Get a police clearance?
Police clearance, we get all those things. You do your blood test. We are not the ones who get to know them, but we encourage them, do them, and then they disclose to each other. After you get married, we still mentor you because the journey has not yet ended. The challenges that you face when you start moving in together, the finances, the children, the careers, if the unfortunate happens, one of you loses a job, how do you go about that? That has produced a lot of good results. Annually, we gather around 700, 750 people, 800 for our conference. And then we came up...
Do you think you've taken the place of the aunts and the uncles in the traditional setup?
In fact, we work so well with parents. We work so well with the parents. Right now, for next year, we have about 7 people that have indicated they want to get married. So we will do the premarital counseling. We will send them, they talk to their parents agree, and all of that. They introduce us to their parents. Warkana, this is the church where I come from, and they are helping me just to ensure that we do things well. And so even when the parents are preparing for the wedding, they know that Konale, the part of the church, and then we leave them to do their things as they would do them. Yes, sir. Mahadi Dipaklo, all of those things. And they are grateful. Most of the parents even come and appreciate us. I know this one is one of your proteges, Tabo.
Yes, yes.
You know, I'm very close with the dad. He's not a church member. We talk from time to time. He says, hey, yes. And we stand with them. He's
one of the outstanding ones.
Yes, sir. We
the
have
other
good
one
relationship with the parents. Yes, sir. So we work with the parents. We believe in what the parents do. We believe in the parental blessings. So the Love Train has produced a lot of good results.
How did that come about in terms of training and empowerment to be able to give that? What did you undergo to end up with that setup?
My parents have been married since 1978, but they've been together, I think, since 1960. And my wife also comes from a background where my father-in-law, he passed on 2 years ago, and my mother-in-law, they were together since 1984. They married in 1984, but they had been together since the mid-70s. So you could say that we had a strong family background, marriage background, where we saw it modeled, as much as it was from the traditional point of view, but we believed in marriage from that. And when we now got into the Bible and realized marriage is a God institution, we need to protect it, preserve it. We need to publicize it, make marriage to look lovely and, you know, something that people want to get into. And that led us to where we are with the Love Train.
Tell me a bit about the Millionaire Club, because
yes, sir.
That one, I think, even social media pages. It's,
Yes, sir.
it's bubbling.
We I think Millionaire Club started 2014, if not 15. Financial freedom. People struggle with money. Others make the money. They don't know what to do with the money. Others have opportunities, but they don't have the knowledge that this is an opportunity that you can get into. And so, in our young state, when the church was about 5 years old, we came up with the Millionaire Club. It was to just educate people on financial issues. And so, I would present, I speak from the Bible standpoint, and then we invite other people from out there that walk this path. They are there full time. Come and talk to us about entrepreneurship. Come and talk to us about partnerships. Come and talk to us about funding and all of those things. And so annually we would gather
I'm yet to be invited.
You are coming, sir. You are coming.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
thank you.
So and we want people to explore, especially Botswana. There is so much that can be done in our environment. It's just that sometimes all that people lack, like the Bible will say, my people are perishing because they lack knowledge. People lack knowledge. They have great opportunities. And we have seen a lot of good reports. In fact, coming to the shooting now, I just went to one of our people's school. She built a school in Odi. And I just went to see it. They are finishing the construction and all of that. She focuses on kids with special needs.
Wow.
And she's doing a great job. Most of our young people, we teach them how to make money out of your job, how to turn your career into a profit-making venture. We have, I don't know, over probably 15 authors in the church, if not 20.
Wow.
Because all I said to them, and my wife likes quoting this statement. She just released her latest book, I think, last month. And
Wow.
the statement that got her to do it was, authors of books are not extraordinary people. They are people that valued their thoughts, their ideas enough to package them and to serve the world with them. So my wife writes books. My wife has written, I think, maybe 1,000 songs or something like that.
Wow.
And so we tell people, explore yourself. There are talents in you. We have young men who are into the sports industry. They coach young people. They get into the fashion. The reigning Miss Universe is from church. Get into the pageantry.
Wow.
The Miss Botswana 2015 was from church. I think almost every year we have somebody from church who goes to probably top 12, somewhere there in the pageantry, because we just tell people that God has given you talents, abilities, and use them to make money. Understand that money has a mission as well. And so when we bring different people, is to expose them and to give them the leverage of how they can be financially free.
So these would be your two main programs, the Millionaire Club and the Love Train.
Yes, sir.
Are there any others?
We have one we call the Workers Summit. This one is for people that are employed, how to deal with office politics, how to be a good employee, because an average person doesn't like their job, and yet they like the money. So how do I become an effective employee? Some people who call their bosses toxic, the bosses are not toxic. The person may just not be educated enough to know how to deal with a superior.
Yeah.
If I want results, I'm not here to pamper you. So we because in our churches we have a lot of people that are working in different platforms and all of that. They need to be empowered from the Bible. How do we work effectively? And then, of course, one of our signature program at church is our Family Fun Day. It started as just a fun thing to do. Let's gather, let's play. We attract around 300 people at our Family Fun Day.
Once a year?
Once a year. And
Around
people,
when?
Around October.
Okay.
People come from everywhere. We gather, we play, we connect. Because more than just people being taught, they also want to relax. They also want to, connect with each other. Others have found their marital partners at the Family Fun Day.
Wow.
Because at the workshop, probably you are more focused on listening, taking notes, and your mind is far from love relationship. Your mind, others have found business partners in those platforms when we are relaxed and having fun like that. So those are some of the programs that have become like highlight programs that have changed the lives of the people.
Yeah. In all this, there's an element of mentorship.
Yes, sir.
When you mentioned about the work situation, I prescribe for my mentees a book by a guy called Richard Templer called The Rules of Work, which really guides
Very
people
good book.
in those settings, in the corporate settings.
Yes, sir.
So can you say a word or two about the importance of mentorship and how you navigate that space in terms of you also being mentored,
Yes, sir.
and you also mentoring others?
It's very important. Anybody who is going through life without a mentor is risking their life. It's a great risk. My mentor said to me, don't live life with a single mind. A mentor gives you the ability to see life from a different point of view. A mentor is somebody who has walked the path that you want to walk into. And so they can tell you the things that you need to avoid. They can, in fact, Dr. Mike Murdoch says, mentoring is gaining wisdom without experience. I'm getting wisdom through somebody else's experience. If you touch the stove and it burnt you and you tell me this thing is hot, I don't have to be burnt for me to know that it's hot. Your word is enough for me. And so the reason why some people's potentials are not coming to pass and they have more dreams than they are achieving, they are frustrated, is because they just lack mentoring. They just lack platforms where they can be accountable. Of all your annual goals, who have you subjected them to that is going to keep you accountable? Have you done this? Have you done this? I do that annually with my marriage, with the church, with my children. We are turning 16 years in marriage next year with my wife.
Congratulations.
With 4 children. Thank you, sir. And our mentor
It's about
said
half
to
my
us,
time.
yes, sir. My mentor said to us that one time he said, don't let your children hate what you do, where you spend more time in it and they see it as an enemy. Imagine if I didn't have that wisdom. I will think I'm committed to the ministry and yet I'm losing my children. Everyone needs to be mentored in every part of their lives, whether career, business, marriage, finances. Have different mentors for different things in your life so that you can have wisdom and knowledge, exposure, experience that would help you to avoid avoidable mistakes and to, leverage on what you have. Sometimes I remember when I hosted Dr. Miles Monroe, it wasn't even from me. It was a push from my mentor. Because my mentor hosted Dr. Miles Monroe. I
Your
went for
mentor
the
being?
meeting. Sir?
Your mentor being?
Pastor Komaya.
Yeah.
He's Nigerian. So I went for the meeting. I was privileged to sit there for dinner, and he introduced me and he said, this young man is from Botswana. Dr. Miles Monroe said, oh, I've not been to Botswana. I said, sir, I would love to have you. And he said, well, since you associate with this man, I will come. It was not because of my credibility. It was not because of what I have done. It was because a mentor put a good word for me. Everyone needs to be mentored. It helps a whole lot.
Yeah, that's great. And tell me, how was that experience with Pastor Monroe? Can you share some of the highlights?
That man was a package of wisdom. Package of wisdom. He was good and very lively, refreshing to be around him. He took note of details. We could be at a restaurant eating and it's a buffet, you are picking stuff. He's not just putting things in his plate. He'll be saying, let me get the cherry tomatoes for this in my body, this one for this. And what even the little foods are doing in your body and all of that. He loved his wife. And he said he can't imagine living his life without his wife. It's one of the things that he pushed me into. Dr. Monroe, beyond just being a Christian and a man of God, was a man who was dedicated to life. He read a lot. He studied a lot. He considered things. When you sit with him and you hear his stories talking to different presidents, different leaders here and there. When we hosted him, he turned over to me, took my iPad and typed something. He said, you are not a one-dimensional being. Explore yourself. I still have the note on my,
Wow.
yeah, he said, you are not a one-dimensional being. This is 2013. When he said that to me, I said, I'm going to explore everything that is in me, whether it is doing music, writing books, doing programs, getting into the corporate space, getting into politics, whatever it is. He made it to look like it is possible to be everything you would ever want to be. When he talks about his story of growing up from a poor background and being the person that now he became, relating with people like Les Brown, going to Harvard, sharing stage with the greats, and
Meeting presidents.
and he wasn't stingy with his knowledge. He would share it, he would mentor. That meeting, sir, to be honest, is what established us, because at the time that he came, we were only 4 years as a church.
Wow.
Didn't have any credibility, anything. And when he came, I remember the late Sekitu Masire. He came for the meeting.
Wow.
And they met, and he gave a good word that if this young man thinks in this direction, Mr. President, please take care of him for me. And from that time, it's like he endorsed us in such a way that people began to receive us as a church, even me as a person. The belief that they released towards us was not because of what we did, but because somebody with credibility just put a stamp, like a forward kind of a thing.
Well,
put a
yeah,
stamp
he
on
has
it.
international credibility.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
May the Lord continue to rest his soul.
Amen.
Yeah. But a person doesn't get to the levels you are heading to without setbacks,
Yes,
without
sir.
failures, without even what I sometimes call cataclysmic events
Yes, sir.
and challenges. What do you have to share in that arena?
Like we said it earlier, I've always been a bright kid at school. Went through Form 5, got some good grades, and then went to the university, and life started happening. At this point, I'm 20 years old, and I'm looking forward to graduating, get into the marketplace and work, make money, enjoy like every other young person would want to. And that failure crushed me. It crushed me, sir, because my parents sent me to Durban, and they are expecting me to come back with good news. And I came back with myself. It pushed me from people. I isolated myself. I have failed. I have felt the shame, the disgrace. Couldn't relate with my cousins because even when you go home, you are asked, "Oh, hey, it's school. I'm seeing some of my cousins getting married. I'm not able to do anything. I'm staying with my sisters. You can't get a job." It was terrible. But the best thing that came out of it was that more than just the pain I went through, I thank God that it was the period I discovered my mentor. And I began to ask,
The Nigerian
yes,
mentor,
sir,
yeah.
is this what my life is going to become? He said, God has something for you. What can you do with simplicity? And even if you are not paid for it, you will still do. I discovered that I can talk. I discovered that I read a lot. I thought everybody reads. I have so much knowledge in me, and I can share it with the people. God helped me to get through that period of my life, and much more, the ability to think around myself and not just be consumed by the pain. And then get into ministry. I remember just before we hosted Dr. Miles Monroe, that 2013, just released the adverts. Half of the church left. At this point, we were running about...
Why? Why did they leave?
Some of them, I think people have a way of thinking what they want and how they want it. Maybe a new pastor in town comes in and they like their charisma or whatever it is, and they decide to leave. It crushed me, but like we spoke about mentoring, I went back to my mentor crying, and he said, focus on what you are doing. Forget those who left. If they left, chances are they were not supposed to be in the next chapter of your life. So I focused on that. And he even gave me a good lesson. He said, never reject the next person because of the pain of the last person. We kept on with the ministry. When we were hosting TDJX in 2017, I remember that we needed more money than we had. By the time we finished the meeting, we had some outstanding balances that needed to be paid.
Is that the time when he spoke at UB?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember.
2017. So I remember that time we had some debts that we needed to settle. I've always been an advocate of, look, live above debt, but it pushed me to start thinking. And I told myself, I will never lose my integrity to get by. I will not do things that I don't believe in, whether it is in the church, start selling merchandise of oil, this one, that one, to make money. But when you are faced with a bill of, say, 500,000, a debt, what are you going to do? And I had to hold on and say, this is the time to prove whether I'm a man of character, a man of integrity. And we paid off the debt within a few years' time.
Did you have to get a debt? Did you have to get a loan?
We didn't get a loan as such from like institutions. Because it was a ticketed event, we thought that the ticket sales would
Cover everything.
And so when we needed some monies towards the event, some people who were closer to us said, well, we see that you need money. I can give you this, and then you can bring it back. Oh, okay, no problem. The event ends, and we realize that we don't have the money to return to those people. So we called them. This is the situation. This is how it is. Some were disappointed, some were hurt, some understood. And then that's where now the people relation would come in, that wa go dira yang. Talk to the people. This is the plan that I want to put before you. This is how we are going to do things. Okay, no problem. And some didn't agree, some agreed. The ones that don't agree, how do we find that we settle them so that we remain with the others and all of that? So it taught me a lot. And those moments that when you come out of the big achievement, immediately you sink so low. And sometimes people think that when you dedicate the new building, it means that you are all that. They don't know what you are handling behind the scenes.
Wow.
It could be a marital thing, it could be whatever. So in all those challenges...
in other words, when you have a big success, you can be sure that there's going to be some setback.
Most definitely, sir. Most definitely. And it confuses some people, because how can I be so happy and go home and be sad? How can I be in the newspaper? Pastor Biafra Mogobe had 5,000 people in a venue. Others are calculating if the ticket was 700, so he made this much. They don't know how much you made, what you didn't make. You are in the newspaper, you are in the news, and yet you just came from a meeting. And in this meeting, you are trying to, appease the people that I will do this, I will do that. It was so terrible, sir. I think I can talk about this one, that one of the people that gave us the money, he took us to the courts and to the lawyers. And they had every right to do that. And then we had already paid through the lawyers. I think they didn't get the message, or they didn't see, or whatever it was. So they publicized us on the
social
newspapers.
Media. On the newspaper.
Yeah, in the matter between this person and the church. So we called the lawyers, guys.
But only the lawyers can do that.
Yes.
So maybe they did by mistake.
Yes. So I said, check. So we produced the proofs of payment and all of that. I still have the screenshot of it. I'm like, we have never been in the matter between. So this is so good.
Yeah.
So I kept it there. And but that period also showed me that people loved us, because when people saw it in the newspaper, I got a lot of calls.
They were concerned.
What is happening? They were concerned, and with care. What is happening? Please tell us what we need to do. Really? And these were not just church members. I remember specifically Pastor Sitima called me and said, hey, young man, what is happening here? I said, sir, it's just a mistake. He said, no problem, I'll give you sir, it's a mistake, we have paid. He said, no, I'll give you some money.
Yeah.
So he gave me some money. He said, go and pay. I said, we have already paid. He said, use it however you want to use it.
Yes.
But it also showed how all things work together for good.
For those
and
who
we didn't
serve
have
the Lord.
any hard feelings towards the person who did that, because we understood. We needed to pay their money. They needed the money, and we became good friends still afterwards. Like, hey,
yeah.
remember what you did?
You laugh over it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that would be, those are some of the biggest challenges. But sometimes we don't sit and get to, as it were, blow our own trumpets.
Yes, sir.
Smell the flowers, as it were, celebrate our achievements. But here in this podcast, I'd really love for you to share,
All right.
tick a few boxes of where the Lord really showed His countenance upon you.
Yes, sir.
And blessed you.
Well, I think it's part of the things, some of the things rather that I mentioned earlier. The greatest of them is the success rate when it concerns marriages that you have been able to mentor and see through. Of the 50 plus weddings that we have officiated, I think we have only had about 2 or 3 divorces.
Wow.
And even in those divorces, it was things that could have been solved.
They didn't subject it to counseling.
Yes.
If
So
they had come forward.
it would have been much different. So to see us being able to help in our nation building when it concerns the marriage institution, a good friend of mine put on social media the other day that she passed by the courts and realized that, I think she said 1,700 registered divorces for this year or something like that. And I was like, this is our part that we need to play. So we are so happy with seeing people getting married, believing in the marriage institution, raising children in marriages, and all of that. When we see, even though it was not an intentional thing, but we have seen the ministry being more like a pace setter. Some of the things that we do, I remember when we started doing live broadcast of our church services online, some pastors would call me, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. Today, they are the ones that are in the forefront of doing all of those things.
I think the pioneers in that area was you and Pastor Mogobe.
Yes.
The pioneers in terms of going live. Now everybody is doing it.
Everyone is doing it, you know. And some of these things, we just do them because we just love people and seeing them being empowered. From the marriages to us, I'll put this one across. One of the things that we believe in from our church is, and we are at this phase right now, we study different churches that have been around for many years, that have done things well. You talk about Roman Catholic, Seventh-day Adventist, you talk about Church of God in Christ. So we studied all of them. And we said, what made them to have 100 years? What structures, what systems are in place? One of the challenges with some of the churches like ours is because, or rather that these churches have, is they don't have structures. You'll find that the pastor runs the show. His name is bigger than the church, even sometimes Jesus. What he says goes. Finances, the financial mismanagement is too much. Abuse of the people is a lot. And so we put some systems and structures and came up with our own management book. That if you're a pastor in the church, these are your rights, the management committee, the church councils, all of those things. And we are able to do things right. No scandals, no issues, even among our people. That if you have issues, you have a department. If one brother has an issue against another, there is a department they go to. So it gives me so much joy because I know out of this exercise that we have done, it took us like probably 4 or 5 years. My father-in-law, before he passed on, he started the whole process.
Wow.
I called him my Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses.
Moses, yes. Yeah.
He started that whole process, very intelligent man, and to put structures in place. I don't control the church money. I don't control what comes out, what goes out. There are systems that are put in there. I don't call the shots at will. The other time, in fact, just to expose us, I wanted to do something. So I called our executive committee and I said, guys, this is what I'm thinking. And they went and they thought and they said, no.
Yeah, because they analyze the
Yes.
value in it. Yeah.
So they come and they tell me, these are our reasons. We have heard your reasons, but we are not going to, we respect you and all of that. And you know what I said to them? Thank you for being yourselves. Because the influence of me being your pastor did not play an impact of, making you to not decide correctly.
Yeah.
You decided from the business side. Many churches could have done a lot of great work, but they just lack systems and structure. So it has been a great achievement in my heart to know that we are able to put these systems. And why am I saying that? Because I know very soon there are other churches, and we have already started with other churches, that we are showing them pastors do things correctly, like this, like this, like that. You may remember this. Recently, the church has been put in the news for the wrong reasons, where pastors are abusing church members and all of that.
Some are getting convicted.
Some are getting convicted.
Then going
It is
to the-
very terrible. It is very terrible. We need to restore the good name of the church. People need to come to church and feel that they are safe.
Yeah.
They need to get to church and feel that there is proper management of our offerings, our funds. And there is no one who is esteemed higher than the other. We are given equal opportunities. And so we are believing God that as we continue, we'll still impact other churches to,
So
do the same.
can you put a few numbers to that? How's the membership? How many branches and so on of the church? How's it doing?
Right now, the church is doing very well and very good. We have about 30 pastors and ministers.
Wow.
And we have opened branches in Lobatse, Francistown, Maung, Palape. We have recently started a groundwork in Durban, South Africa. Yes, the Gaborone being the main branch as well. And we have the full-time pastors that are in those locations. Yes, sir. Gaborone, we are running around 500, 300, 500, that number. The best membership, well, this one, we don't record them in the membership, but my most part of the church is the children's department. We run about 100 plus kids in our children's church. I love the children's church. When I see them growing in the church, it reminds me of when my brother took me to church.
Wow.
Some of them are going to be the future presidents, future whatever. That is good. And growing up in the church is a delight for me to see them.
So you're
being
starting the training early.
We start the training early with these young kids, and we have a curriculum that teaches them the Bible, how to apply their faith, living a life of integrity, praising God, all of that. It's more like the time of old Sunday school.
Yeah.
So they have a real Sunday school. This is Bible, how to live their lives, like the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go.
All right.
Error.
You're also an author like me. I've
Yes, sir.
written this book.
Yes, sir. Very
us
good
about-
book, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I take that to be an endorsement.
Yes, sir. It's a
Thank you.
very good book.
Thank you very much.
Error.
Tell us about your book, the one you've written,
Yes, sir.
and where one can find it.
I wrote a book some years ago titled The Call of Destiny. It was more about understanding your inherent abilities, that destiny is calling for you. There are some potentials in you. There are some treasures inside you that you need to discover, you need to sharpen, you need to unearth and serve the world with it. Right now we are out of print, but they can contact our chat line anytime and then they can get it. I think next year I should be able to release some of my books. To look out for is a book on marriage. I'm a big fan of marriage, as we have been talking.
Yes.
So a book on marriage, singleness, courtships, and all of that.
Yeah.
Error.
If you were to summarize it, this call on destiny,
Yes, sir.
people sometimes say they don't know what they were called on this planet for.
Yes, sir.
Is there a formula for discovering destiny?
I always say the pointer to your calling is closer to people than they realize. In their resumes of old, they have a portion where they put hobbies. That is right at the bottom before you put your referees. And yet, for me, that is the pointer for your calling. Your hobbies, you can say, I like sports, I like running. Life has proven that the things that we didn't regard back in the days have become what some people are living off of. Whether it is sports, whether it is music, whatever it is. So it's in that book I talk about how you can look inward. The things that you do with ease that sometimes you don't even need training for may be the pointer to your purpose and what it is that you need to do in this life. For me, it was discovering that I have a stage presence. I can talk. I didn't know that wasn't a thing. And the challenge with discovering your purpose in that way is that people take for granted what is natural to them, not realizing that what is natural to you is not natural to everyone. It may just be your golden treasure to the golden ticket of life.
Wow. That is so powerful. All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about politics.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's been more than a year now that we've been under a new dispensation.
Yes, sir.
And we go to the Bible, we hear about Daniel. Daniel was a politician.
Yes, sir.
Who survived many kingdoms and many governments, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
How do you interact with politicians, and how does religion and ministry, interrelate or interact with politics?
Yes, sir. Well, one of the things that the church missed out on, it's like the church is always late to the party. We will hear statements like politics is a dirty game. Business is a dirty game, dirty industry, whatever it is. And then later on, when we catch on, people have already gone ahead and taken over those spaces. We cannot be the church and divorce ourselves from politics. We cannot be the church and divorce ourselves from the things that influence the direction of the society, of the nation, and of the community. And so it is important, like the Bible will say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Wow.
And when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. There will never be an influential sphere of life that is vacant. Someone will occupy it. If it's not a Christian, it will be somebody who is not a Christian. And if they are not a Christian, they don't have a conscience that will say do things right. They will do as it seems fit to them. And so believers need to rise up to the occasion. And we are not saying when you become a politician as a Christian, you are just going to be there, be speaking scriptures. No. God gives wisdom like he would give Joseph wisdom to advise the king. And Joseph did not just interpret the dream. His invoice was on, come and interpret the dream of the king. But Joseph went ahead and said, even though I interpreted there will be 7 years of abundance and 7 years of scarcity, O king, put 5% or rather the fifth of everything that you make.
It's 20%.
20%. So Joseph went beyond what he was given.
1/5 of the produce.
Yes. And he gave an advice that saved the nation at that particular time. Presidents are going to need advisors.
It also set a blueprint for wealth
Exactly.
preservation throughout the millennia.
Yes. Presidents will need advisors. If the advisor is not one with a good conscience, they will advise them wrongly. So believers need to rise up and realize that God is our life. The world is where we dispense God at. In your workplace, you are not just there to make money. You are there to spread God. And you don't spread God by quoting scriptures and praying all day. You spread God by living the life that is consistent with the scriptures. The most productive person at work must be a Christian. The most effective person at school or in any field must be a Christian. The Bible says, let your light so shine before men that they will glorify your Father in heaven. But they will say, why is this person an honest person? Oh, the difference between him and us is that he or she is a Christian. And so politics is very important. It decides the direction of the nation. If you don't get into it and they decide to, scrape off the freedom of religion,
Of worship, yes.
what are you going to do? We need to be there, not for any other thing, but also for life. God is not for Christians. God is for life. Even just the rights of the people that are not Christians. Because somebody who is not a Christian can take advantage of those who are just there, don't know much. And so as a nation and as believers, we need to rise up and get into this political spheres at whatever level. Let's not hide away. When somebody comes as a pastor and they talk on these issues, we start thinking that they have lost their calling, remain with the Bible only. And that's what many Christians have done. They have remained with the Bible and they lost the money, they lost the contracts, they lost the influence in the society. So much so that when help is needed, the pastor is the last person that we can think of calling. And so when I got into ministry, I said, I'm not going to be a pastor of opening prayers. I want to be a pastor that I'm given a space to talk 30
You give
minutes.
the keynote.
Keynote speech. Yes. And they can only do that. There is a man that I also follow. He's called Bishop Noel Jones. Very intelligent man. Dr. Miles Monroe said to me, sometimes people invite you to the room not because you are a pastor, but because of the DR before your name. So if you have a DR before your name, it says you can think, you can hold the conversation, you do understand. It's an encouragement on pastors as well. You are pastoring politicians, business people. Be relevant to your people. When a politician, let's say the president comes to our church and he has not been to church the last 1 year, should I cry and say he has backslidden? I need to understand Joseph of Arimathea was never seen with Jesus, but he was a Jesus person. And so because churches don't understand, T.D. Jakes said to me, he said with me some 2016, he said, let me teach you how to pastor celebrities. And he said, in our church, in Potter's House, when celebrities come, there is where we get them to sit in. Because if you put them in the congregation, people are busy trying to get their numbers and all of that. Protect them. Some of them know how to relate with them. But because pastors don't know how to do this, you preach against politics, you preach against business. And your people are in there. And you know when a pastor talks like that, people know who they are looking at you without looking. You can feel that
They
all
know who
eyes
they're
are on
talking
me.
about, yes.
Definitely. So we need to rise up to the occasion. God is for life. He is not for churches. He is for the people out there. And we need to get into politics, encourage our people. I am not of any political party. There are different people in the church that come from different parties.
Yes.
And I empower them alike. You know, I grew up with my brother. Back then, I did not even know. He will take me to Freedom Squares. Is that what it's called?
They're called Freedom Squares.
Yeah, at the rallies. And he would buy newspapers and force me to read them. I didn't know he had a political
Bone in his
ambition
body.
and calling or whatever. You know, and I've always been exposed to politics from a young age. And so getting into ministry, it wasn't anything much but to appreciate that politics is important for life, for Christianity, and for people in general.
So you are indeed raising Daniels in your church.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. One of the things that I would say to our people all the time is build yourself in the industry, gain all the knowledge, know how to play by the rules in the industry. In fact, we once had a program, we are calling it the Influencers Service. And in that program, we are teaching about how to just be effective outside of the church, how to camouflage. The Bible says, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. A serpent is very smart. How can I be like yeast that gets into the flour? It doesn't change anything but the state of the flour. How can I be like salt? You put me in a pot of meat. I don't change the color of the meat, but I change the taste. I go through the heat of the meat and I don't mind because I just want to change the taste. Until we raise people that can, go out there and be effective. One time there was a meeting, I think the US Africa meeting or something like that was held in Tlokwen.
Yes, it's at the beginning of last year. I think.
Yes, sir. Somebody called me and said, did you sponsor your people to go to that meeting? I said, no, I didn't even know. They saw everywhere they were looking, people that they knew were our church members. Everywhere they were looking, people that were our church members. And they asked me, why are your people here? I said, because they are raised to know that when the church service is over, church life is starting. And church life is not quoting scriptures, but being in these relevant spheres of life.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because if nothing else, you can't go ye therefore and spread the gospel if you don't
Yes.
have finances. So
Definitely.
it is necessary also for ministry to be
Very.
in the right places to generate income.
Yes, sir. It is very important. And when the people at church realize that their careers, their businesses are not just what they do to make money, it is also a calling. Some time back, I think it was this year, yes, we called all the people in the workspace at church. We booked a hotel, we left them there and said, talk about our church, how we do things, what your experiences are we relevant to you? We're not going to be in that meeting so that you don't get intimidated by us.
Yes.
So they gathered and they spoke about our operations and how we do things, and they gave us a feedback. We want to have a platform where we, as people out there, we can sit and we can advise and we can show you how things are to be done and all of that. People need to know that their careers are not just their personal ambitions. They are also a calling from God. And when they see the sense of God in it, they value them. They don't just go out there and misbehave. They know that I'm still extending God where I am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think of you as a brand,
Yes, sir.
but I also think of your ministry as a brand.
Yes, sir.
So, in terms of brand awareness and brand promotion, what would you say are the short, medium, and long-term goals and ambitions for these two big brands, the Rams brand
And the church.
and the church brand?
Okay. I spoke earlier from the church side about our manual of operation for the
Yes.
church. Because the idea of that is we want to build a church that is long lasting.
Yes.
How many years has SDA been around? How many years has Roman Catholic been around? And so we are building on the systems and the structures that are going to help us to have longevity, help us to have proper operations. On my personal side, I'm 43 years old this year. I said to myself, by the time if I have stretched it too much, by the time I'm 50, I should have gotten my doctorate.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And then I've not released any of my books as much except this one, but I have quite a number of them that I've written. So I got the impression that I think 2026 I should start releasing many of them. I had books on investments, and some of them are on my personal experiences on working with the corporates and all of that. So I'm working on releasing my books. I'm still at school now, finishing the other course next year, and then working for the doctorate in the next 7 years.
Wow.
God helping me to achieve that. For the church also, one of the things that
The doctorate in what? Theology? What
In
specific
theology.
area or just
yes,
general?
in theology.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
From that space, I see myself also as, because I'm interested in politics, I may not get into politics as in like becoming one, but being a part of those who are there in the form of advisory, in the form of giving them guidance and all of that. It's not something that is far from my mind. I love my nation and I'm very interested in everything that happens in and around it. I follow everything to the core so that when I have to speak on my opinions of the issues therein, I should be knowledgeable on doing that.
Should be relevant and knowledgeable.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's talk about the other brand, the church one.
Yes, sir. So the church, we have a number of branches here. I just mentioned earlier that we are starting Durban full time next year, and then would spread through South Africa as well, and other
Using the name
using the same name, Royal Assembly.
Royal Assembly
Yes,
Church.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So having put the structure here, it's more like we have covered the base. When we go even outside, we are not going to struggle with how we operate and all of that. Like I said, having learned from the others that have been there. And the greatest achievement of the church, which I want us to have, and is the direction that I give our executive committee, is that the success of our people is our success.
Yes.
When people who are in the different platforms of influence associate themselves with the church, that's where our growth, that's where our name is at. So we are we are building more on empowering the people and giving them a platform for them to excel.
Yes.
Through the Millionaire Club, one of the things that we have discussed in our meetings is that we don't just want to teach people. Why can't we have platforms where people can also come together, network, build partnerships, be funded as well? Some people have resources, others have ideas, others have skills. So we want to be a place where people connect at these three different levels as a church and build the good results. The Bible says about Jesus when he rose Lazarus from the dead in John 12, that the following day, a number of people, they came through to see the Lazarus that Jesus rose from the dead and to see Jesus. The order there is most important. To see Lazarus. They didn't come to see Jesus. They knew Lazarus. They knew he was dead. They knew he was buried. So they came to see Lazarus. So the thing that I say to our leaders that we are working on is let's raise our own Lazaruses. When we take somebody who is a school dropout, empower them and they become a millionaire, people will come to see that man, not BF Rams, not Royal Assembly. They are coming for that man, and then they encounter us on the end of the stake of that. So ours is to empower the people. Ours is to take the orphans and turn them into men and women of purpose. Ours is to build marriages that were on the verge of collapsing. Ours is to build men and women that will be full of integrity in the marketplace, that will be trustworthy, that will be useful to nation building.
Yes. On that point, I want you to help us interpret a verse that has caused much confusion to people. The love of money is a root of all evil. It has caused confusion and has led people astray by not reading it. Just take some time and tell us your understanding of that verse.
All right.
Since we are entrepreneurs, we need to, and of course it ties in with the other one about it being easier for the camel to go through the eye of the needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, like you quoted it. In fact, I'm glad you quoted it correctly because some people misquote it. They say money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. And that scripture simply means that when you esteem money even above God, then you are not far from evil. So when money is placed above God in terms of priority, so you will not have a conscience on a conscience on making money. You can make money by doing wrong things because you just love money, even if it means breaking the laws, even if it means going against.
It means having no integrity.
That's what it means. Sometimes when people quote those scriptures, they would forget where other scriptures would say money
answereth
all things. They will forget the scriptures that would show us that wisdom is a defense. Money is a defense. They will forget the scriptures that says the wisdom of a poor man is not regarded, even though his wisdom saved a city, but because he's poor. So in that way,
he's despised, in fact.
He is despised because question is, if you are wise, why hasn't your wisdom made you rich? And so there is a place for money, like a statement that would say money makes a good servant and a very terrible master. So as entrepreneurs, we should not shy away from making money. As people, we should not shy away from making money. The gospel is free, they would say, but the means to take it out is not free. When we have to build church auditoriums, when we have to support the orphans, when we have, like I said earlier, putting a fund program for the young entrepreneurs at church, it takes a lot of money for us to be able to get on the media platforms, for us to print Bibles and do the apps, Bible apps, all of those things. They take money for them to be a reality. We can do a lot of good with money than without money. Poverty is not a sign of humility. When we have the right hearts towards God and leha madiata, we know that money has a mission. It is not for our pride. It is not for us to look down on other people. Then we are in the right platform. Much more that entrepreneurship, beyond money, say, entrepreneurship is about solving problems. Money is the last thing we get in entrepreneurship. You solve problems, water, the problem of ignorance. You solve problems, and for solving those problems, they give you the reward in the form of money.
I understand that, but explain the camel one.
The camel one, it is easy for for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. The eye of a needle, sometimes the Bible is nicer and easier to understand when you understand the background of the scriptures. Sometimes people will call it the context. Sometimes it's the historical background. Because when they talk about the eye of a needle, that was a gate that a camel has to go through. It was a small gate that, because of the size of the camel, you have to be wise to know how to put it through with the hump of the camel. So he was not necessarily referring to that a rich man.
A physical camel going through an eye of the needle.
Yes.
Small needle. Yeah.
No, it was a gate that there was a skill to take it through that gate by virtue of the size of the gate and the size of the camel. So he wasn't referring to that rich people will not taste the heaven or go to heaven, or their riches will hinder them from getting into heaven. He simply was referring to us that when we employ the skills of the scriptures, like the farmer who would take the camel through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle is a physical place. So as a rich person, there is a skill to, if I was to call it a skill, in relating with God. Take it back there, the priority.
Yes.
When the priority is God, when we do things as God would prescribe, then we have become like the farmer who is able to take the camel through the eye of the needle. So it was more of eyes on the ball, stay focused on God. There was a focus that needed to be engaged when you take.
Because otherwise, it wouldn't make sense to have people like Job being so wealthy.
No.
People like Abraham.
Yes.
All our patriarchs were very
They
wealthy.
were very wealthy.
Even Jesus
people.
himself used fish to pay
Yes,
taxes.
exactly.
He had money at his command. So yeah, that's how I would look at it. I agree with your explanation. Now, as we wrap up our conversation, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
You get a chance to ask me a question. But before you do, I just want to understand your social media strategy and why you believe it's important for pastors and even non-pastors to have a social media strategy, because clearly you have one.
Well, the world has changed. We were talking earlier with the guys, and one of them, in fact, asked me, said, "Why are you on TikTok?" So you're the first pastor I saw on TikTok. And I said, because of the age group of the people I'm pastoring, that is where they are. My oldest daughter is 13 years old. So the other day I was talking with them, just having our conversation together with the sister who is 11 years old. And I'm like, when I allow you to get on social media and open your Facebook accounts, they said, "Dad, Facebook is so unk." That's the word they used. I had never heard it.
Means
like uncle, like old.
Yeah.
I was hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, so which social media platform would you..." TikTok was top of the list in their minds. Facebook is for maybe my age and older. The world has changed. It has moved to a different platform.
Altogether.
Television is no longer the same. The media platforms are no longer as it used to be. And so we need not to be rigid to fight where we are seeing the world is going to. People are on social media. And so if you don't position yourself and build a digital footprint, you may face out without knowing. And the world is changing at a rapid pace that we need to understand things. The other day I was telling our people at church, I said, every one of you better invest in studying and learning about artificial intelligence. Because if you don't, you'll be crying tomorrow that jobs are going, customers, da 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 da. Learn about it. So for me, it has always been about being relevant to the seasons and to the times. And I surround myself with the people that understand those times. In this case, in my 40s, I surround myself with the 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and those who are in their teenage age.
I do the same.
Yes, and because if you are not relevant, you'll be phased out. And when people realize you're not relevant, they won't even tell you. They just move the direction of the one that is relevant.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in some churches, this is where they have been. They have died a natural death by not moving in with the times and the seasons. I put out something the other day that the young people are not a problem to be managed, but treasures to be explored. So we have had a lot of people that when things come and they are new, we don't jump on them as fresh. The church has a way of always playing catch up. We resist things at the beginning. When we realize this thing is not going anywhere, that's when we say, oh, let's get on board. Whether it comes to content creation, music, all kinds of stuff, we catch up later on. So for me, surrounding myself with young people like him and all of that, they keep my mind fresh. They keep my mind fresh. And so we decide to put out content from time to time.
Is there a certain number of pieces of content per day? Is there a strategy there? Or are you still being worked on?
We are still working on it. We do back and forth. Sometimes I fight with them. Shouldn't we have posted? Sometimes they tell me we are supposed to post at this time. That's when. So they monitor it from time to time.
Yeah.
Like when you are coming here, he said something that, when you post on love issues, they have more traction than any other. If I post a video right now on love, how to find the right partner, within one day it will have probably 14,000 people.
Yeah.
And when we post on other things, well, not as much. So, but we try that on a daily basis. There is something that comes out on our platforms and all of that. And then from the church as well to keep. Somebody said to me, I met someone in Durban and they said, you do church adverts, you have church programs every day. I said, it's not church programs. It is normal services, but we decide to advertise every one of them. By the time we start a teaching series every month, we know the teachings that are going to be done, and we advertise them in advance. So when you come to church, you know what you are looking forward to. You're going to be talking on faith. You're going to be talking on this. And we do our best to engage our graphic designers, our content creators, and they do a great job. Sometimes I don't agree with what they are putting out but they have their way, their criteria, and I just have to respect their knowledge.
Yeah, as long as the disagreement is not over principle or values, it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, chance for you to ask me a question.
I think I spoke a little bit on it. I've been thinking about it. Like I said earlier, I pick details everywhere I go. So realizing that you work with these young people, I was like, this is smart. I had put a video, I think, this week, and I was talking about the generational divide. What would you say is the greatest challenge of elderly people working with the young? Where are the young people missing it the most in working with the elderly generation? And I know it's like a lot of questions. How can we bridge that gap so that an experience of someone like you can work for me? The access, the resources we have built, me who comes into the market and I'm fresh and all of that. How can we bridge that gap? What challenges have you seen with the young people that sometimes in you wanting to work with them, you're like, they don't get it?
Yeah, it is a challenge. I experience it also from my own house and from my own home, and where I'm lucky enough to work with my children.
Yes, sir.
Sekela runs the restaurant downstairs.
Yes, sir.
Otlagadan does our technology work, and he's establishing our new business, which is on private equity.
All right.
and then Khosigadi is just graduated last week, literally in
Wow,
Mauritius.
congratulations.
So she too was been with us in the business.
Yes, sir.
So I experienced it non-stop.
Mm.
But I found the key is to be intentional about bridging that gap.
Okay.
One simple method that I do is to ensure that I don't spare any effort in ensuring that we have family meetings, even if it means going out to a restaurant
I
once
hear
a
you.
week.
Yes, sir.
And we happen to
Okay.
have a restaurant that there.
Yeah.
But I think if we're not intentional in terms of learning these new ways, these new vibes,
yes, sir. You
and
even
this-
know the language, the
yeah,
vibes.
the vibes, the lingo. There's a lingo.
Yes, sir.
If you're not conscious and intentional about it, it doesn't work. I've been thankfully because I'm active on social media.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They see that I'm a cool dad.
Yes.
So I'm lucky they think I'm cool, and I'm trying to persuade my compatriots to also be cool.
Yes, sir.
But some of them think I'm just wasting time. What am I doing on social media? And I'm very dismissive of my efforts. But the point is that let us be intentional.
Okay, sir.
Let us continue to engage them. And once they are recognized and engaged, they produce.
Yes.
It's been I've had them in my payroll.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
constantly going for these young ones
Yes, sir.
in our payroll. If you look even in the law firm, they come straight from UB to join us.
Wow.
So that helps keep that youthfulness engaged.
sir.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so my answer to you is that let's continue to be intentional and deliberate,
Intentionality.
and it does deliver results.
That's very powerful, sir.
Yeah.
And your presence on social media and all of that, we see it and we love it because it speaks to us. How else would I have known you except through the social media?
Yes.
I think we are meeting for the first time today.
Absolutely.
And
like we know each other.
I know your mind. I know how you think. I've seen your opinions on
Yeah.
different things. And
Yeah.
if a lot of us can really be intentional, as you said,
Yeah.
would make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That camera there
All right.
is, as we wrap up, is for you to leave the viewer with some all-encompassing final, inspirational or motivational message.
Well, it's very important for us to understand that whatever you are to become, you are the one to make it happen. And sometimes life is not a straightforward journey. There are different hurdles along the way, but you must have the mind that says, I will get the work done. Whether it happens in a year or 10 years' time, but I am committed to making the moves and to making the right kind of atmosphere that I want to produce in this life. So it's all up to you. If you can take responsibility, life will be sweet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now they need to reach out to get
Yes,
in
sir.
touch. So share all the contacts on
All
social
right.
media and elsewhere,
All right.
even where the church can be found.
I am on every social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at BF_Rams. Boaro F. Ramarapi on Facebook. We can interact there. The church is in Gaborone, Francetown, Lobatsa, our main one in Gaborone here. We meet on Sundays and on Wednesdays for empowering services. We do counseling as well. We offer it for free for those who need counseling. You can book an appointment on 755-03975, and then we can have a moment.
Thank you very much. It remains for me to thank you from the very bottom of my heart.
I am so
And
grateful.
to
sir.
appreciate you for giving so willingly and for
Yes,
being
sir.
yourself.
Thank you so much.
Continue doing what you're doing, sir. We
Thank
appreciate
you so
you.
much. Amen.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, dear viewer. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Bye-bye.